we're going to jump into some teaser options. There's actually more than I thought there was coming into the week. But we had a question. One of our viewers, Kay Hilmers, checked in. He was asking about the Texans. Now, we made a case for Jets and probably only Jets if you're going to play a side in this game tonight. But starting a two-leg teaser with the Texan side, does that make sense? You check a box with the low total, and you certainly check a box going through key numbers of 3 and 7. You're on the Jet side, so it's strange, but I understand the question about going from +2 to +8 with CJ Stroud on your side, and it's a low total game. I get it. It makes sense. Not something I'm looking to do, Sam. How about you?
Yeah, fundamentally it makes sense. I just like the other side, so I can't say that. Oh, I'm not going to create a middle with Jets money line and Texans +8.5. I guess some people might entertain that. I'm just not. I'm not looking to tease a side that I don't like. If you like Houston, by all means, take the money line, take +2, take +8. I mean, whatever you want to do, it's your bet. I'm just not going to tease Houston because I think the Jets are going to give us an A game tonight, and if that's the case, they can maybe win by 10. I like the Jets in the game. But yeah, if you like Houston, for sure, go for it.
2 losses this year, one of them more than 8 points. The Minnesota game, that was a non-competitive matchup. You think back to last year in the playoffs, they were smoked by Baltimore. I'm not saying the Jets are on that Ravens level, but they win their first playoff game, and then they get destroyed in the second playoff game. We've seen other spots with the Texans. Remember last year, D'Amico Ryans was talking revenge. He's referring to Week 14 when they lost 30-6 to Zach Wilson. So, yeah, early in the year, they lost a couple of games, but it was CJ Stroud's first couple of games. They lost by a lot, multiple score losses. So if the idea is with CJ Stroud under center, he's not likely to lose by more than 8, I wouldn't go with that if that's the thought process, because he can, and he's done it a bunch over the last couple of years. So, yeah, not something we're looking to do, but I understand why. It certainly checks a lot of boxes. What about ones that we are looking at? Well, we've got a lot of Browns love, right? The number for the Chargers as the road favorite has gone from above 3 to below 3, and it's the low total game. I think of all the survivor options, it has the lowest total sitting at 43. You can tease the Browns from +2 to +8 at home. I'm a little worried about Cleveland, Sam, and all the love that they have, that a lot of people had. There were a lot of moments in that game against Baltimore, even though we were heavy Cleveland and we talked about it all of last week. There are a lot of moments in that game where that game could have flipped and the Ravens easily win. Don't know that the Ravens cover, but they could have easily won that game.
No doubt. I am not on the Cleveland side this week. I will not be a part. I understand the tease, and I love teasing dogs up. I just feel like you look at the look-ahead number. Chargers 4.5 on the road. Now it's down to 1 at a couple shops. 1.5. BetMGM has a 2. You could have teased Cleveland up to 10.5, and now it's 7.5. And I don't know. I just feel like the push is too far gone on Cleveland. I mean, this was a team that was dead to rights, and now Jameis is there, and people are saying, oh, don't let Jameis get hot. Cleveland's still a bad football team. Remember, we bet Cleveland +9. We're not advocating for Cleveland +2, +1.5. Now, if you tease it up, which is what we're talking about in this segment, I like it obviously more, but I think that team has blowout ability. I do.
So
I think the variance is so high they could obviously win the game, but they could also lose by 2 touchdowns. So I'm staying far away from Cleveland.
I'm not teasing that game either. I think ones that we would recommend are sides that we already like. We like the Seattle side. We like the Dallas side. So, of course, we would tease those up through the 3 and the 7. With Dallas, you can get up to 8.5. And with Seattle, you can get to +7.5 against the Rams. So, certainly those, right?
Yeah, I like Green Bay, too, in a teaser. Now, that's sort of a halfway number right now when we look at the board.
Yeah.
Detroit -3.5 at MGM. Some books have a juice 3. That's a halfway number because we don't know about Jordan Love, who strained his groin against Jacksonville. Now, I'm going to guess if Love is in, this goes back towards Detroit -1, 1.5. If Love is
Yes.
out, 4.5. Like, this is a halfway number, so we'll add a 1.5 in or out. I'm willing to gamble now, even if it's Willis, from 3.5 up to 9.5. Like, I think even with Willis, I would like them north of a touchdown. Matt LaFleur is one of the best play callers in the NFL. And how many times in his career have we seen him find running backs out of nowhere, making these young receivers work? He had 2 different game plans in 2 games with Malik Willis already this year. Now, okay, wins against the Titans and the Colts maybe aren't the most impressive, but he constantly puts quarterbacks and running backs and receivers in positions to succeed. So I look at Green Bay +9, +9.5. It's north of 7, north of 8. A little unconventional, but so was a couple of teasers I made last week, and they won. I just think you take those undervalued teams and you add points. That's why I like Seattle. That's why I like Green Bay, and why I like Dallas. Dallas from 2.5 to 8.5. Seattle 1.5 to 7.5, and Green Bay, let's call it 3 to 9. Matt LaFleur, as a dog of 3 points or more, is 17-4 ATS. 17-4. So yes, let me take that team and add 6 points. I will do that 9 times out of 10.
Would you rather get Love or the possibility of Love with the current number, or Malik Willis? If you tease it, you're getting better than 10.
Yeah, I don't. It's a good question. I think anything north of 7 is fine with either quarterback.
Yeah, since we don't know what's going to happen. So what we've heard is he has a chance to play. Packers are going to play these games. We're going to do our final show of the week tomorrow, and I'm pretty damn sure that we're going to have no idea if Jordan Love's going to play this game or not, because this is what the Packers
Right.
do every single week. And then final injury report comes out, and then all of a sudden you get a full practice for a bunch of guys that were sitting all week. So we're probably not going to know until Sunday morning, maybe late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. I'm probably going to be betting on Green Bay. Whether it's Willis or Love, I expect to be betting on Green Bay in this spot. So considering them as a teaser, even though it goes against the grain a little bit, that makes a little sense. I'm not teasing Chicago through the 3 and the 7 on the road. I've not seen it from this Bears team on the road. It happened again with the Washington game. And I'm not just saying about the whole thing falling apart at the very end. Throughout that game, Caleb Williams had a lot of issues. So I am not going to be teasing up. Our guests keep messing with me.
Our guests keep popping up on the call mid segment,
Yes.
and it's just like you see the costume and just laugh. It's a great costume. It's a great
Yes.
costume,
Strong.
but it's hard to focus now. What were we talking about?
Bears. Would you tease the Bears through the 3 and the 7?
Sure, why not? I don't. Whatever. You know what else will be a popular teaser? This will be very, very sexy. Philadelphia down from 7.5 to 1.5. That's going to be very popular, very trendy.
Yeah.
I'm more of a teaser up person, not a teaser down. But I have a feeling that late afternoon Philadelphia game, that's not Sunday night, that's Sunday afternoon, because Indianapolis and Minnesota is Sunday night. But I have a feeling there will be a lot of teasers tied to Philly from -7.5 to -1.5.
Yeah. Teasing down, your options are Philadelphia. Cincinnati's another one. I can't. That scares me, especially if it's going to be without Higgins, and there's that possibility. New Orleans against one of the worst teams we've seen in a long, long time in Carolina. If Carr is in, it's going to be hard for me to say, no, I'm not going to take New Orleans, and I pretty much just need them to win, because then we get down to -1.5.
Carolina's atrocious.
Yeah.
Atrocious.
Any team -1.5 against Carolina, I'm going to think about it.
I'm not
So
fighting it.
that could be a look.
There's
Yeah,
no way I'm going to say that's a dumb idea.
Bryce Young's in, by the way. So Andy Dalton looks like he's practicing a little bit this week, but they said Bryce Young is in, but that's as far as they would go. They would say that Bryce Young, okay, he's in for one game. They didn't want to say past that because they probably want to see how bad he is. Is he going to throw a couple more interceptions like he did last week? What do we have here against the New Orleans game? But in the New Orleans game. But yeah, I mean, there are a lot more teaser options than I expected. I think we hit all of them, right?
Well, Buffalo, which I brought up yesterday, Buffalo from 6 down to pick. Even though I just said I'm not a big favorites teaser, Buffalo should
That's
beat Miami.
they're
Should
winning that
beat
game.
Miami. I'm never
Yeah.
saying the L word on this show. I don't think
Mm-mm.
things are concrete anything. But more times than not, 7 out of 10 times, Buffalo is beating Miami.